Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It has been a long time since we did one of these, but if my favourite TV show, one of my favourite TV shows of recent memory, is going to come back for a third season, it had to be Cracked Out. So I'm going to rewatch the first two seasons and then get into season 3 and find out, is the third time the charm for Atypical? So it's 2 in the morning. I recorded the start of this episode yesterday, technically now. It's Sunday now. I recorded that on Saturday. And I have just marathoned the first season of Atypical. For two reasons. One, because of this series. And two, because I absolutely love it. The first season, it's just one of my favourite TV shows. I'm going to try and use coherent sentences here. I absolutely love the characters. I associate with a lot of the characters. I empathise and see myself in a lot of the characters, which is a weird thing to explain when you're watching a TV show with such diversity in it. But I really feel like I can see myself in Sam, like in the father, in the girlfriend, I suppose. It's a weird show. It's a weird show for me because I find a lot of the TV shows nowadays, the ones that I've seen, I watch them more as a show, and I'm like, I want to see where this goes. This is a good story, whereas I feel like this is, even though it is a good story, and I really like the way it sets up for season 2. I really watch it as almost like I want to see where this character goes, and I really sympathise, empathise. I don't know. I really feel for the main character, so I love his directness, and I love the fact at the end of this season we see so much growth in Sam, and I sit there and I'm like, I feel like a proud dad in a way. You've done so much, well done. That when it ends on a big cliffhanger for season 2, I was praying that it would get picked up for season 2 because I didn't know it had been at the time, and yeah, it's just one of my favourite shows. It's one of the best Netflix shows I've seen, and I will stand by that because even though I love shows like Daredevil and Jessica Jones season 1, there's a lot of shows on Netflix that I really love. Atypical was one of the first ones that when I got with Beth and we were talking about shows that we wanted each other to watch, I was like, you need to see Atypical, and she powered through Atypical because of me. So yeah, first season's done. I loved it as much as I remember loving the first season the first time I watched it. I'm very excited to get into season 2 because I remembered a lot of season 1. I'm not sure how much of season 2 I remember. So it's set a high bar. Let's see if season 2 can match that. I didn't really want to do this, but I don't really have a choice. I recorded a review of season 2 and I can't find it. But I don't want to not have a video go up. So we'll improvise and we'll talk about what I can remember. And hopefully that's good, that works. So I remember really enjoying season 2. Sam does a lot of self-exploration in season 2 that I really enjoyed, and I enjoyed following. I liked his romance arc and how that flowed, and with the ending of him telling her that he loves her, telling Paige he loves her. I think it's just really well done. I really enjoyed it. I liked Casey's growth as well. I feel like all the characters grew in this season, and I really enjoyed that. One thing I didn't like, one of the big things I didn't like from this season, was Elsa. Elsa's sudden, not sudden, obviously the whole cheating on him aspect, and I like the fact that was got to straight away at the beginning of the season, and it wasn't dragged out throughout the whole season of being like, let's keep the secret going for as long as we can. It was brought up straight away, and it was dealt with pretty quickly. She doesn't leave anyone alone, and I can't stand that. I'm like, just go away. You're annoying me. Please stop. Yeah, I don't like her character in this season, and I don't like the therapist either. I don't remember her name. Still. I don't like the therapist much either. She sort of outstayed her welcome in this season. The whole child thing. Why is it here? was how I was. I was like, I feel like you're a spare character that wasn't needed. He gets his like little group in the second season to replace her, and I like the characters in the group. I like all the people that are in the group, the actors in the group, as well as the lead actor, the actual counsellor. I think they're a very strong team, and I really like that group more than I did the therapist. So why is she still here? So yeah, to me, season 2 was just as strong as the first season. I think I prefer the first season a little bit more, maybe. But I'd say it's pretty much on par with the first season. Anyway, let's go to season 3. And that is season 3 over and done with. I can't apologise enough to Casey. I don't know what came over me in the second one, but I couldn't remember that at all. We're here now, because it's taken me this long. This is what I've been procrastinating over, and I don't know why. I don't know why, and I do know why. So, for season 3, for me, it's taken me 3 attempts to watch this full season. I still really enjoyed it. I still really loved the third season, his growth. I'm curious to see what happens with his midterms. That made sense for the character. To me, anyway, it made sense to the character and him trying to save his friendship with Zahid. He was being taught ethics. Really? He was being taught ethics, and that was his ethical quandary that he built towards. But I'm sort of curious where that goes from there. And obviously, he's going to be moving in with Zahid next season. I haven't actually checked, so I've just literally finished and come straight here. I'm assuming there's a 4th season. Which I'd really enjoy and I'd really be happy to watch. My problem with this season, and I couldn't figure out why I kept stopping on the 3rd season, because I was enjoying it. I really don't like 2 characters. I've already forgotten one of their names. I'm not doing very well at this. Elsa, for definite. I'm not a huge fan of her character. I'm not a huge fan of what she does. I'm sure I mentioned this in the 2nd season. She spends a lot of her time in the 2nd season being very... I've caused this issue and I'm going to be a problem. I'm just going to linger all the time. And that carries into season 3 a little bit, and then we get episodes that they feel like they're just based around her. I noticed, so this is what made me notice it, I'd stopped on You Got a Ghost Girl again. And this was at least the 2nd time I'd stopped on You Got a Ghost Girl, and I'd stopped halfway through, and then I wanted to do this series, so I was like, I'm just going to restart the season. And this was the 3rd time I'd watched that episode. And I was like, why have I stopped again here? Oh, that's why. It's an Elsa episode. It's not all about Elsa, obviously, but I was like, I just can't... I don't know what it is. It's nothing against the actress or anything. I just don't like her, the character. The way she goes about things just really frustrates me. The whole Fleetwood Mac thing in this season. I have a huge problem in real life with miscommunication and people not communicating things properly. Instead of talking about this, I'm just going to act on it. Talk about it first and see what happens. And the aggravation I had, I was like, you two are barely speaking. Her and Doug are barely speaking in this season to begin with. And she's like, Fleetwood Mac tickets? I must be the person he's taking. I won't talk to him about that in any way. I'm just going to get ready to go. And then she's not going, and she turns that into a huge issue. And she's like, we need to separate. And I'm like, speak to him. You don't need to worry about any of that if you talk. Yeah, so I struggled with her character a lot this season. And the therapist, whose name is completely gone from my brain. I understood her role in the 1st season. 2nd season, she started falling off a cliff for me because I was like, he stopped seeing you. I know he pops in every now and again to sort of speak to you, but he's moved on because of the issues in the 1st season. And in the 3rd season, she's still there. And then there's a scene where she's being a therapist for Elsa, and I was like, I can't watch this right now. I can't. My 2 least favourite characters are on screen, and it's sucking the life out of me. I really liked Casey's arc in this season. from the first season, especially knowing where it's going in the third season, but from the first season and rewatching it, knowing where it's going in the third season from the first, it's sort of not obvious, but you can tell there's a little bit of something there for Casey that's not quite, when she's with Evan, she's not quite happy in that situation. She loves him, and she cares about him, and there's a lot of that built dynamic there, but it's not in the sense that he sees it. And they build that really well. Watching it again, you can really see how they built that. There's scenes with the girlfriend I'm not 100% on. She goes and kisses another boy, and there's a bit of tension there, and I'm like, why is this happening? Like, the one thing I do understand about the whole situation is they're not sure how they think, what they feel, and it's all very confusing. So that's how they're showing it, and yeah, okay, that's fair enough. But I don't know, it was all a bit quick. So one thing that I was thinking about the whole time until that little portion is the one thing that I love about Atypical is it takes its time. Nothing ever feels rushed. The whole Zahid and Sam friendship breaking lasted a long time, and it lasted the right amount of time. If they carried that into the third season, I'd have been like, this is going on too long if you're ever going to be friends again. If they'd resolved it too quickly, it wouldn't have worked as well. I just think that they time things really well with it, especially the whole separation thing. As much as it drove me insane watching them, because I had to watch Elsa go through this. I just don't like Elsa's character in the second or third season. But if they tried to solve that any earlier, I'd have been more frustrated with it because it wasn't right. It's not how that should have gone, in my opinion. So yeah, the one thing that I really like is how natural it feels. I feel like this is a real family and they're really going through all these things and it's going at the right pace. One thing that drags me out of things and makes it feel less natural to me is when things get resolved too quickly or not quickly enough. Whereas this felt like the natural progression of those stories. So yeah, the whole moving here with Zahid thing in the next season could be interesting. If he's still going to college next season, that could be interesting to see where it's going with Paige. Their relationship has expanded a lot, and that was cool to see how they both deal with each other. Yeah, I really enjoyed the third season. Was it as good as the first and second for me? I don't know. I think it's on par with the second. I absolutely loved the first season. The second season I still really enjoyed. I think I loved the second season as well, to be fair. It's just now I'm thinking about all the Elsa moments that drag it down for me. And I think I put this on level. Sometimes you see a third season and it just makes you go, I don't know if I want to carry on with it. This show I really want to carry on with. So, it's made me excited for the fourth season. That's sometimes a problem with threequels. You see the third one and go, they're making a fourth. There's a few things that I won't mention just in case we do third time's a charm about them. But yeah, there's a few things that I can think of where I'm like, we're making a fourth. Why? But this isn't one of those. This is one of those that I want to carry on watching. I want to see where this goes. So yeah, I really enjoyed Atypical Season 3. I think the third time was the charm with this one, for definite. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoy Atypical. If you don't, watch it. Let me know what you think. If you have seen it and you don't agree, let me know about that as well. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you again in the next one.